Hey guys, so I just left Cooper's green room, and it looks like he's almost ready to go. I'm not sure if it's something he ate, or I don't know, maybe he's just really slow, or doesn't care at all about anyone else's schedule. But I've got a day and, oh, there he is! It's great to see you, boss! I was just saying how much I write, got it. And we're live in 5, 4, 3... It's go time, Arizona.
Welcome in, Arizona. This is the Hometown Arizona daily show. We go Monday through Friday at noon. We talk about different segments of the Arizona local community. This week we started with, man, I don't even think I can remember. What did we start with? Probably music stores. We did a couple. So today is local bands. But I think on Monday was music stores. We've done local bakeries, coffee shops, breweries. We talk about the impact that they have on your local community, your neighborhood. And today we're going to take a look, as promised yesterday, we were toggling between pizza and local music. We chose local music. So we're here on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and Instagram, Monday through Friday at noon, and then we move over to TikTok at 1 o'clock if that's more your flavor. And so today, we're gonna take a look at what it's like to be a local band. We're going to look at venues, different places that support local music, live music. We'll talk about some of the big names that have passed through Arizona or originated from, not passed through. They came from here that maybe a lot of you didn't know. And it's not just Alice Cooper. It's actually a pretty impressive list. So we're just going to jump right in. Who's with us here? Snazzy Sassy Seven's with us. She looks excited. We also have a show on Saturday night. That would be tomorrow night now. That starts at 6 o'clock. We recap. Trying to get some interviews, trying to get some people lined up for that. We're going to take a look at some local band listings on Hometown Hawk and see who's sitting in Hometown Social. If you don't know what that is, stick around. But to kick things off, let's talk about local music, local musicians, local bands. I'm going to find a different one. Yeah, I'm feeling this one. So here's a moment most people never see. It happens before the lights come on, before the first song, before anyone in the room decides whether they're staying for the whole set or stepping outside after the first drink. It's the drummer tightening that one last cymbal stand in the corner of the bar. The singer staring at a handwritten set list taped to the floor. It's a guitarist checking a cable they already checked twice. Because one bad buzz can ruin the whole first impression. That's a local band loading in through the side door, trying to turn a regular Friday night into something people remember. Because when we think about local music, we usually think about the fun part, the stage, the sound, the crowd singing along, A couple dancing near the front. The friend filming on their phone. The moment when the song hits just right and suddenly the whole room feels a little more alive. But when you walk in, you walk a mile in the shoes of a local band, you realize how much happens before that moment ever gets the chance to exist. These are musicians who often they're working full-time jobs, raising families, paying bills, still finding time to rehearse in garages, spare rooms, rented studios, the back corners of someone's house. They're not just chasing applause. They're coordinating schedules, replacing strings, fixing gear, designing flyers, posting videos, asking venues for a chance. They drive across town after work with half their equipment jacked into a hatchback. And then they finally get the gig, and they're not just performers, they're their own road crew. They make their own marketing team, their own sound check, their own social media department, sometimes their own booking agent. They run the merch table, sometimes their own emotional support system when a room is smaller than they hoped, or the pay barely covers gas, or the algorithm doesn't care how good the song was. That's the part people don't always see. A local band spends weeks preparing for a show that lasts for 45 minutes. And in those 45 minutes, everything is on the line. It's not in that dramatic Hollywood way, in a real life, small business, local artist kind of way. Because a good night can turn into another booking, another fan, a shared video, a private party, a festival invite, a regular spot at a neighborhood venue. And a bad night, sometimes it just means packing up quietly, loading the amps back up, and trying again next weekend. But here's what makes local bands special. They create atmosphere out of thin air, really. A restaurant becomes a memory because the right song was playing on the patio. A brewery feels like a community hangout because a local trio is tucked in the corner, giving the room a pulse. A downtown event feels bigger because there's live music echoing down the street. A wedding, a fundraiser, a farmer's market, a block party, small town festival. All of it changes when real people are making real music right there in front of you. Local bands don't just entertain the community. They help soundtrack it. They give neighborhoods a voice. They give venues a reason to gather, people a place to belong for, a couple hours. And for the musicians themselves, that stage, it might feel small, but the dream behind it usually isn't. Maybe they're trying to grow into bigger venues. Maybe they're building an original catalog. Maybe they're recording an album, one paycheck at a time. Maybe they're just trying to keep music alive in a world that keeps pushing everything onto screens. Local music does something a playlist can't. It makes the room breathe. You can feel the mistakes, the recoveries, the inside jokes between the bandmates and the song requests from the back table. It's always Freebird. A little spark when a crowd starts paying attention. It's not polished in a way a studio track is polished. It's alive. And that's the point. But supporting local bands means understanding that the music scene doesn't survive on talent alone. It survives when venues are willing to book them. It survives when people show up early instead of waiting on something bigger. It survives when the audience tips the band, buys the shirt, shares the clip, follows the page, tells a friend, treats local music like part of the local community, because it is. Behind every local band is a network of other local businesses and creative workers. There's venues, sound engineers, photographers, videographers, print shops, food trucks, breweries, event organizers, music teachers, repair shops, talked about that on Monday, recording studios, graphic designers, promoters. When a local band gets a gig, the ripple effect moves farther than the stage. That's the hidden power of the music scene. It doesn't just create entertainment, it creates movement. And in Arizona, where every city has its own rhythm, from downtown patios and desert festivals to neighborhood bars, art walks, coffee shops, community events, local bands help give each place its own sound. They remind us that a hometown isn't just the buildings. It's the roads. It's not just the buildings, the roads, or the business. It's the feeling. It's the night air, the first chord, the crowd leaning in, and the chorus everyone knows by the end of the song. So the next time you see a local band setting up in a corner, remember what you're actually watching. You're watching people who chose to keep creating. You're watching a group of neighbors who turn practice into presence. You're watching a small piece of culture happen live. And maybe the best thing we can do is not treat local music like background music. Maybe we treat it like what it is, a hometown trying to sing. Local bands create a ripple effect that reaches far beyond the stage. Economically, they help bring people into restaurants, bars, breweries, festivals, markets, downtown events. They support local venues, sound techs, photographers, all the things we mentioned. They have a ripple effect and they have a community echo. Culturally, they give a community its soundtrack. They turn ordinary nights into shared memories. They make neighborhoods feel more alive, more connected, and more original. A strong local music scene tells people there's something happening here, something worth showing up for, supporting, and passing along. Local bands do have community echo. They don't just play music in a town, they help a town feel like itself. Nothing like live music. Arizona is home to a plethora of famous bands that have originated in the alternative rock and what they used to call the Mill Avenue sound. Maybe they still do. But back in the day, it was the Gin Blossoms. They were out of Tempe in 1987. They helped create that 90s Mill Avenue sound. They achieved massive commercial success with their platinum-selling 92 album, New Miserable Experience. Miserable. These, which featured his top 10 hits like Hey Jealousy and Found Out About You. One of my favorites, Jimmy Eat World. They came out of Mesa as a punk band in '93, and they evolved into an alternative emo rock powerhouse, breaking through the mainstream with their 2001 album Bleed American and that massive hit. I know I played it probably 1,000 times, called The Middle. I still get excited when I hear that song. I crank it no matter where I'm at. A lot of songs, when you play professionally and you many times a week, you play the same songs so many times. And there aren't very many for me that I enjoy. Like, after many years of doing it, there's probably 20 songs out of the 500 plus that we performed. The Middle is one of them. I don't know why. It's weird. Another one is the Meat Puppets. They were formed in Phoenix in 1980 by brothers Kurt and Chris Kirkwood. Their unique blend of punk, country, and psychedelic rock helped invent the cowpunk genre. I'm not familiar with the cowpunk genre, but they famously influenced the 90s grunge movement and played what the MTV's Unplugged with Nirvana. I remember that. Another favorite of mine is the Refreshments. Staple of the 90s Tempe scene again. They're known for their 96 hit Banditos. Recording the theme song from the animated TV show King of the Hill. Frontman Roger Klein later formed the Roger Klein and the Peacemakers, continuing to champion a distinct Southwestern sound. Yeah, Southwestern Americana. He still performs. I follow him. He's on Hometown Hawk. I don't think he knows it, but he's there. Amber says, "Here's to Life." That is a great song by Roger and the Peacemakers. The Refreshments. I think it might be my favorite. There's so many. I feel bad just saying that. It's like one of my kids I just said I liked better than all the others. Who do we got? The Tubes. They were formed in Phoenix in '69. Before moving to San Francisco, their eccentric art rock and proto-punk band is remembered for their satirical stage shows and their hits like White Punks on Dope and She's a Beauty. There's the Format and the Main, both highly influential in the 2000s indie pop rock scene. The White Format essentially acted as a soundtrack for Phoenix millennials before frontman Nate Roos went on to form the Grammy-winning band Fun. Okay. Well, let's get into the rock pop legends. You got Stevie Nicks, born in Phoenix. Her echoing vocals and mystical persona helped propel Fleetwood Mac to a global stardom. Of course, with songs like Dreams. Alice Cooper moved to Phoenix from Detroit as a teenager, graduating from Cortez High School. He pioneered theatrical hard rock, shock rock, and classics like No More Mr. Nice Guy and Poison. Linda Ronstadt, born in Tucson, prominent ranching family. This vocal powerhouse ruled the 70s pop rock and country charts, selling over 100 million records worldwide. Mr. The 80s pop rock group, famous for their number one hit, Broken Wings, evolved from the Phoenix-based band Pages. So many. Heavy metal, hardcore, post-hardcore, there's Chester Bennington, Maynard James Keenan, Rob Halford, the legendary frontman of the pioneering heavy metal band Judas Priest moved to Phoenix in the early 80s. It's also noted that Dave Mustaine of Megadeth and the band, what was that, Sculfy? Soulify have strong Phoenix ties. You have 2000s metal and Screamo. The greater Phoenix area became major birthplace for heavy underground acts in the 2000s, producing successful bands like Job for Cowboy, Scary Kids, Blessed to Fall, Eyes Set to Kill, Greeley Estates, and The World Alive. Not familiar with them. You got the country, folk, and blues, Dierks Bentley, born in Phoenix. Became a modern country star with multiple platinum albums. Buck Owens, his family moved to Mesa in 1937. He later pioneered the backbeat-driven Bakersfield sound. Waylon Jennings and Glenn Campbell both established deep roots in Phoenix during the 60s and 70s. Dwayne Eddy, guitar legend who fathered the wangy rockabilly sound, spent critical development years with Tucson and Coolidge. Hey, Coolidge made the show. Tucson's Desert Noir. The Desert Noir scene, Tucson developed a fiercely independent scene heavily influenced by its desert isolation and border town Chicano heritage. Bands like Calexio and Giant Sand crafted a highly atmospheric desert noir blend of indie rock, Americana, jazz, and mariachi. Hip-hop, R&B, and electronic, there's CC Penningston, DJ Z-Trip, Injury Reserve. These are famous Arizona musicians and bands a lot of people probably don't know about. Here goes Instagram. Arizona music scene is characterized by a dense network of live performance hubs. There's a industry for high quality tribute and cover acts. Deep-seated historical legacy rooted in the do-it-yourself culture. Tucson serves as a major center for contemporary live music, anchored by iconic venues like Hotel Congress and the Rialto Theater. They offer a wide array of genres ranging from traditional jazz to mariachi, indie rock, electronic dance music. In the Phoenix Valley, the industry is increasingly defined by professionalized entertainment groups that manage versatile cover bands capable of winning over diverse audiences. Iconic theaters and historic venues. In Tucson specifically, like we said, there's the Rialto Theater, Fox Tucson Theater, Hotel Congress, Club Congress, the Century Room, the Ava Amphitheater. It's a large-scale outdoor venue at Casino del Sol. That's known for hosting famous touring musicians and large public events. Turn that one back on. We're going to take a look at some Hometown Hawk listings, some local bands that are on there. I think we had one added last night. In what do we got? Some community hubs and courtyards. What is that? St. Philip's Plaza. That features live music in a courtyard, a setting with dancers and rotating musicians. The Monterey Court. These are all places that support live music in Tucson area. That's what I was looking for, though. What's the tribute band market like? Phoenix is identified as a hub for high-quality tribute acts. These bands allow venues to provide a familiar, high-energy entertainment. Gig Salad identifies at least, 23 top-tier tribute bands available for hire in the Phoenix area. Supporting that robust market for nostalgic and genre-specific performances. There's Long Wongzon Mill operating from the early 80s until April of 2004. Long Wong's was a hole-in-the-wall chicken wing joint that doubled as a vital musical incubator. I hear a lot about Long Wong's. Never been, don't know really anything about it till I started doing research for this. The do-it-yourself ethos. The venue lacked a professional sound system, lights, or PA. Bands were responsible for their own mixing, often playing on stage with poor acoustics. It had that underdog mentality. Its significance lay in the community it built. Performers and staff recall the grungy atmosphere, which included raw sewage issues, intense heat. It reminds me of a place I used to hang out. And it was like a badge of honor for rock and roll. Long Wong's helped launch bands like Gin Blossoms, the Pistoleros, Dead Hot Workshop. That Tempe sound was real. The national visibility, like the Gin Blossoms, it helped put Tempe on the map, with members often wearing shirts of their local bands, like Dead Hot Workshop, and during the national television appearances. The scene was described as insatious in a positive sense. Musicians constantly collaborating and rotating through different lineups, creating a roster of great musicians who moved from local stages to regional and national success. That was the Tempe sound. What do we got? Programming and emerging. We got. Here's a little thing on the post-pandemic resilience. The industry has shown significant resilience. The pandemic was rough on musicians. There was hundreds of artists out of work. Venues shut down, but they have rebounded. Venues have rebounded by diversifying their offerings. Modern venues now host not just concerts, but variety shows, burlesque, drag, even daytime clubbing experiences for older demographics. Older, beyond 30. Over on social, Hometown Social is a social network we created for Hometown Hawk. It's like a bulletin board of what's what, who's who from the website and the platform, Hometown Hawk. Looks like last night the classic Jukebox Band added their listing. What's that all about? Only there was a way. And from the Las Palmas Grand, a 55 plus community in Mesa, Arizona holds many dances with various bands. Recently, they had a classic jukebox band play for the residents. Oh, this is a review, looks like. Before the evening was over, the comments regarding this group were, make sure you have these guys back. This is classic jukebox band. Yeah, they got a video and everything. All right. Man, there's some crazy talent that moved through those 55 plus communities. You got the band members. Love to see it. Thanks for adding your band to Hometown Hawk. Looks like a lot of fun. If we go to music, there's our friends Notes from Neptune. Got the Blindsiders down in Queen Creek. Wheelwright, classic jukebox band. They're the ones we just talked about. Oh, that's why the yellow new sign is there. What does that mean? I've been to Long Wong's. I don't remember being to Long Wong's. For a live performance? I'm in the comments here. I don't remember being there. I remember hearing the name, talking about it. But that's where my memory stops. Who else we got in here? It's too far away. I can't see that. Brian Wilkinson. Yeah, we had a chance to see him. We watched him play solo acoustic guitar at the Maple House in Chandler. I have to get back there too. A great environment to sit, to just chill out and relax and watch a local musician. Scott Halleck, we've seen him too. We saw him down in Fountain Hills playing. You got the Jokers, Audio Freak, Bad June, Scarlet Fever. I'm just naming. I'm reading names I can read and see. Fat Chance, Old Town Love, Pickup Lines. If you go to the live shows tabs, you can see any band that has added their event. And Mike Goodrick is the best at doing that. He adds probably all of his events. If you're ever wondering where Mike Goodrick is in his emo night, you got it here. Here's all the categories. So the band that just added last night, Classic Jukebox, I believe they're from the 70s. They cover 70s. Yeah. So does Sonora, apparently. You can search bands right up there by picking your area. If you just hit the search button, it'll give you the map and it'll break things down. There's quite a few bands in there. Kind of gives you the city they're from. Says I've been to Long Wong circa in the 1900s. I don't know what that means. In the 1900s? Like in 1925? The early 1900s? In a previous life? If you've got a band, add it to Hometown Hawk. Add your schedule. If you've got a venue listing at Hometown Hawk or you don't have one, add it or let us know and we'll add it for you. You can add and you can link yourself to bands. You can link yourself to the events. You can add the events yourself and link that event to the band. Create a nice little loop there. That lets us know. So we know to talk about you and promote you. Amber says Dutch Holly has a super cool vibe. I don't see him. But I don't see anything. Probably got to search. Oh, if only there was a way. Go to D. There they are. Dutch Holly. Dutch Holly. And then it cuts it off. Exclusive something. Exclusive pre-release of a new single, Phoenix. Ooh. That's Dutch Holly. They're out of... Where are they out of? Arizona. It's like a pretty cool video. All right. That's, what do we got? 12:43. I got a date over on TikTok at 1 o'clock. See if I can't get shut down, cooked on this Friday. Remember, there's a show on Saturday. That's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Amber will join me in studio. We will break stuff down that we did during the week. I'm going to talk about more about local music. Probably try to bring in some people to talk to us. Maybe some local musicians. That'd be fun. And then we'll be back Monday at noon again. And we'll have a whole different slate. Try something completely different. So this is the second week. The first week we did more location-based. That was kind of fun. Got bored with it, switched it up to topics. Did that this week. That was fun. Now I'm bored with that. Maybe we'll do a combination of the two, add a third thing into it, trying to find the rhythm and the groove for what these half-hour daily shows will be. And just keep going. And then once I get more comfortable, with that kind of stuff, or the actual lineup and what we're doing, then we'll start advertising for it and we'll get some more people in here that aren't organic. That's the plan. But if you pass through, you stopped in, thanks for stopping in, thanks for supporting. Anything you can do to support just by watching, I mean, that's big for us because that's eyes and views. These episodes do get chopped up and they're clipped out on different socials, so there's that. And we keep going. We keep growing. We keep bringing eyes to local life, local culture. We'll see you on Monday around noon. Something like that. See you like 12:03, 12:04. Depends on how much I'm scrambling. Here's a cool slide I should have showed you. We'll break that one down on Saturday night. Looks like it's full of great information. All right, see ya on Monday. Or actually, I'll see you Saturday night at 6. But this format on Monday at noon.
Hey guys, so Cooper has left the facilities, and I guess this means the show's over? So if you could just start moving your hand in the upward swiping motion, that would be great. Or maybe you're more of the mouse type. I know I love me a good mouse. They're just so crunchy. Okay, focus. Yeah, so if you've got a mouse, could you please just start moving your hand over the mouse device thingy and guiding it towards the close button at the top? That would also be great. Come on, folks. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So you're not moving. I'll disconnect. I swear to God I will. Fine then.